today for Larry Conti, who is racing his horse. So we hope to hear about that next week and all the details of that sort of thing. And so my name is Susana McGuire-Jewell. I'm a yoga teacher, and I do a couple other things. I'm also a jazz singer, and I have a band called Infinity and the Jazz Cats. And we have a lot of fun. We're going to be playing at Plaza Linda on August 13th, Saturday night. Come on out, and you can check them out at plazalinda.com, and they're terrific. And it's a great place, good food, and good people. So I want to, what Larry usually does here is thank last week's guests. And first of all, I want to thank Larry, who is a professional hypnotist and a smoking cessation specialist. He can help you quit smoking and lose weight. So he's available at the MontereyHypnosisCenter.com. And he's right here on Garden Road, 2600 Garden Road, and you can quit smoking, do something good for your family and your friends, and stop smoking. And our other guest last week was Chuck Howard of Howard Electric, and his phone number is 393-1914, and he can help you keep your home safe. And he'll come right out there and take care of all your electrical needs. And then we had Conlon Keeter, who is a decorative painter and quite a character.
Oh, yeah.
And you can reach him at 375-4395. He just came back from an extensive trip to Europe where he learned a lot of new techniques that he would like to put into your home. And you can see his work at our website, offthewallradio.net, where there's some photographs of what Conlon does. He will take, he can create marble from nothing, very lightweight. He's really a magician and a good friend of ours. So you can reach him at 375-4395. Okay, so if we have a moment, I would like to go to a cartoon that I made about yoga, and it shows a little bit of the misconceptions, and I hope you'll enjoy it. And can we go? Good, okay.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a yoga teacher.
What the hell is yoga? Do you stand on your head all day or what? I've seen yoga on TV. It's for gumpies. I bet you are really flexible.
Well, you know, it's really more than that. Yoga unites body, mind and spirit. It feels good. You don't have to be a gumpy to feel good.
But I can't touch my toes. How am I supposed to do yoga?
You start from where you are today. Right here and now. There is nothing else but this moment. I'm happy to give you a private lesson to assess where you are right now and improve where you want to go in regard to improving your strength, flexibility, range of motion, and improving your health.
Well, if you can get me to yoga, I'll give you $1 million.
You are on, my friend. Let's get healthy, have fun, and feel delicious.
So I wanted to share that cartoon because a lot of people feel that yoga is something that is only for gumbies. You have to be super flexible and thin to begin it, and we can only begin where we are right now, and I'd be happy to help anybody to feel better and have a better range of motion and feel better in their bodies. And so if you would like to call me, I'm Susana at 239-2594 at deliciousyoga.net. Yoga that feels good. So I'd like to now join our guests, Max Baggett and Charles Walton.
Hi.
Hi,
Good
guys.
Afternoon. Good afternoon.
I'm so glad to share the camera with you. How's it going?
It's nice to be here.
Oh, thank you. Good to see you, Charles. So, Max, I would like to ask you a question, if you would allow me. You race cars. Is that true?
I'm afraid so. Off-road.
And you also own a construction company. You're a general contractor.
Yes, yes.
Okay, great.
That's my main purpose.
in life?
Yeah, well, not necessarily in life, but it's over the racing it is. That's the main
Of
purpose.
course, of course. And so, what would if I was to create a building project? I wanted to build my own home. Let's say that. And what type of things would I need to know to talk to you about that?
Right off the bat, we need to know about the area where you're at and the codes and what's required to build that, building codes in
How
the
would
area.
you find all that stuff out?
We would get a hold of a architect, and what really works good together is an architect and a general contractor. When you bring a general contractor in with an architect right off the bat, it's really to your advantage, the homeowner. So we need to have the whole. We need a map, let's say.
Oh, right.
So he's the one that will make that map, and I have my input on that with him. And we get that map together, take it to the city or the county, and get the okays on that, and then we work up a budget and what that's going to cost you. And then I take that map, and then I build it. And I need that for direction. That gives me some type of direction. It doesn't. You can't build a house just on a set of plans, but it's where all your knowledge and your expertise and your experience comes in to transform that from the plan or the map, let's say, into the ground and into your home. So, then what I do is then get professionals together, for an example, sheetrock subcontractor, tile contractor, cabinet contractor, flooring contractors, roofing, sheet metal, all of these professionals that do these different trades that they're very versed and skilled in. And then I coordinate all that and put that whole package together and make all the ends meet.
That's a lot to keep track of.
Oh, it is.
How did you get into doing this?
I worked for a general contractor in this area for many, many years. And then my family got bigger and bigger. My wife and I have 4 boys.
4 boys.
So then I had to find a way of paying for those maternity bills. So I ended up taking on a lot of work, and I finally evolved into being a general contractor over many, many years.
Okay, I see. Okay. And what is the most, do you have, are there any misconceptions about what about your work? Like the general public might believe this or that, or something that you'd like to share, or?
The first thing that comes into mind is all contractors are not cut from the same cloth.
Okay.
For an example,
Good to
if
know.
you buy a computer, a certain model from this store, it's one price. From over at that store, it's another price. A general contractor would not be looked at that way because there's a lot of different things involved, and it's personable and it's skill, it's experience, all put into one. So one contractor is not the same as another contractor. So your best bet there is use references, call someone, find out what they're made of, find out what that individual, that company, how they perform, how they do their job, and of course price is always an issue. But you can always, for an example, I can have something built for $400, or you can have it built for $4,000. That's just an example. Where is that going to land? Well, that's when you find yourself a good general contractor. He can point you and direct you at the level that you need in your lifestyle.
So just like any business, what we do, we all belong to a organization called BNI, Business Networking International, Charles Walton and Max Baggett, and what we do is it's a group where we share referrals, and there is a background check in order to join the organization. So if people are looking for anybody that they would like to hire, it's a good idea to have references, right?
Yes.
Just like, and then Charles Walton, you're with Old World Finishes.
Correct.
And you're quite the artist, because I've
I
seen
like
your
to think
work.
so.
Yes.
I like to think so. Good local boy with over 30 years experience on the peninsula in all levels of painting. And like Max said, traditionally I'm a subcontractor on new construction and remodel. We do all phases of painting, staining, wallpaper, restoration, historical restoration. But one of the things that we excel at is working on larger projects, new construction, and remodels. And I've worked with a lot of contractors in the past, and there are many differences. And the most important thing I find for a good contractor is communication. And how well the job is
Keep
run,
the lines of
organized.
communication all
Well,
the time.
well, it's a
Right.
dance. You have
Yeah.
many subs on the job, and it takes a lot of skill and experience to align those contractors in the proper order, so that there are times where we will complete an area, and then some other sub comes in and cuts holes in the wall because they weren't scheduled properly, or
Wow.
it's a dance, a juggling act for the general contractor, because he's responsible
It's a lot of stress,
for everything.
probably.
Well, it can be, but with the right experience, experience is real important.
Yeah.
You'll get a good, successful job that meets your needs for a good value. And from my personal experience, Max has an incredible reputation for quality, and not just quality, but organizational skills,
right.
and getting the job done in a proficient manner. Uh, uh, it's very important, very important. You get the right people.
Get the right
to
people.
for the right job.
And oversee the details.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. And I heard you say a couple of times, Charles, that wallpaper's coming back. Is that
Wallpaper
true?
is coming back. Wallpaper is one of those things where you can make a dramatic change easily.
Yeah.
I've hung more wallpaper in the last year and a half than I have in the last 6 years. It's making a
Really?
resurgence. Absolutely.
Why? Now, why would that be? Do you know?
Well, as in all things, the consumers' tastes vary. We've gone through periods.
Does it have anything to do with the recession?
I don't
The
think so.
wallpaper?
I
No,
don't think so.
It's just what do you think what causes to come back?
Well, like anything else, and like fashion or colors. All the industries that we come in contact with, whether it's wallpaper, carpet, drapes, furniture, paint colors. There's a couple of organizations that control what we're going to.
That's pretty wild. The first time I've heard about this, like
Yeah.
for instance, pink.
There's the-
somebody decided that pink was
The Color
in,
Marketing
or
Group and the Industrial Color Guild.
The
they,
industrial-
They predict, they take representatives from all the different industries that are involved in decorating, whether it's appliances or wallpaper, and they predict the colors that are going to be popular 5 years down the road, so that the industry can gear up for that. That way you can buy fabrics and wallpaper and carpet and appliances that are color coordinated. And the consumer's tastes change over the years. In the past, we've had, there were periods of time where wallpaper was quite popular. Laura Ashley was quite popular, and
Was that the
everybody
80s?
was in the 80s.
I remember the name Laura Ashley from the 80s.
Very famous, very famous.
Beautiful,
But
kind
isn't
of
anything, it's
Victorian looking, very
up and down,
lacy,
up and
whatever.
down, and we're on a resurgent. The natural fabrics and grasses are very popular. Metallics are very popular. And faux finishes have made a big resurgence.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Conlon,
For Conlon.
we talked about earlier, does amazing work. We've worked on jobs together. And that's one of the nice things about living on the peninsula and working on the peninsula, is that you get to know a lot of the subs. It's a small,
Right.
it's a small
It's a very
community.
small town.
It is, and to work well on the peninsula, you have to work at a professional level on an international scale.
Yes,
If you can
I believe that.
work professionally on the peninsula, because of the type of work being done, the variety of homes and styles that are here on the peninsula, whether it's a 200-year-old adobe, a 100-year-old Queen Anne Victorian, or a new contemporary $25 million mansion, you have to be able to operate in a professional manner and know
The level's very
what's
high
quality.
here
It's the
for
level
quality.
is set high here.
Yes, it is.
And but it is still a small town.
Yes.
Reputation's everything.
Yes.
We a lot of the subs, we've known one another for decades.
Decades.
Absolutely.
The peninsula has a mixture of so many different phases of work, different types of work. Like you just
Absolutely.
mentioned,
Yes.
all the way
Yes.
across the board.
It's fun to work on the peninsula. In many other areas around the state, in larger metropolitan areas and bedroom communities, I know contractors that I've met through symposiums that basically do the same type of work, whether it's tract homes or working for real estate agents and turning things. Here, the work is all over the scale, whether it's a nice high-end restaurant, individual home of anywhere from, you know, a $250,000 home to a $25 million home. There are things in the homes here that we see, particularly the older Victorians and that you don't see in other areas. Problems that arise, you know, lead containment is a big thing.
Oh, really?
Right,
Here?
absolutely. Well, when you have homes, the state has said that any home over that's built before 1978 has to be tested for lead paint, and there
And
are
that's
proper.
probably a lot of the homes on the peninsula, right?
Exactly,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And there are regulations stipulating the proper process to protect the community when you have to work on those type of homes. You have to be certified with the state, and there's a lot of things you don't see. You know, particularly for plumbers, electricians. You know, we'll go into a home and you see stuff that's like when we strip wallpaper, we may have 3 or 4 layers of wallpaper and find a beautiful flock from the Victorian age underneath.
Really?
You know, it looks like it came out of a bordello.
It
you
probably
know.
did.
But the work is quite varied, and on our scale, you have to be a true professional and know how to handle those unusual problems that arise.
I have a question for you. For instance, let's say a lady wants to change her home, spruce it up, design it differently, and she might be working with a designer or something or not, and she calls you and you decide on a paint color and we're all excited, and then it goes on the wall and then she changes her mind. Does that ever happen to you?
Oh, yes.
So
oh,
what
yes.
happens? What do you do then, Charles?
Well, it depends. It depends. You know, first we like to explain what affects the color and what directions.
Light,
You know,
right?
well, we always
And
like
everything
to
else.
do is light more than anything else.
Yeah.
Determines how a color is going to come off, which is why we use samples. You know,
Yes.
the client presents a color that they think might work, and I'll give my suggestion on, you know, whether it would be, you know, what direction it's going to go in, what it's going to do for the room. We'll use a sample and put a color sample on so that they can see exactly how it's going to look. And then I can offer suggestions. I'm a colorist.
Yes, you are.
I'm
You
a
have
colorist. I
extensive
carry my
knowledge.
own colors. Well, I have 9 years with a paint store decorating center, and I've been to numerous paint manufacturing classes. I know how paint's made, what goes into it, why one product's different from another, and I have a decorative background, so I have the understanding of the psychology of color, rules of color, placement of color, and I can
More than the
physically
average
adjust
painter,
it.
I would imagine. Really,
Yeah,
without-
my background
I mean,
is more technical.
I don't
and,
know I mean, you're the only person I really met who's
has that kind of
the
background.
level
there
of
aren't a lot of us.
professionalism is above and beyond.
Well, I appreciate that. But I can assist the client. We'll talk about the color and what they want to do, and I can adjust that color right there and do another
Right.
sample
See, okay.
until they
So
get
nothing's
exactly
lost,
what they want.
and the client is happy.
Bottom
Something,
line, make
Charles,
them happy.
something that you said once that I will never forget is you said it's all about that moment when you say goodbye to the client and they have a smile on their face.
Absolutely.
I never forgot that.
It's not so much. It's not so much what needs to be done. It's how
That's
it's
good
done
advice
and how they
for
feel
anybody
about
who
it.
runs a business.
We don't mind doing a little extra
Especially
stuff.
in a small town.
You know, it's most important in how they feel about their home.
How do they feel at the end of the day when they shake your hand and say goodbye?
It's all about that
It's about that
satisfaction.
moment,
That's where I get my
and
satisfaction.
that's where you know you did the right
Oh yeah,
thing.
it's all about changing a house to a home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, personalizing that space for the client to make it a home for them. Using color to bring in serenity or passion, or you know, basically changing it from just a house to a home. And it can be done simply. A lot of people have one color houses where the Navajo white throughout the house.
Oh, sure, I'm sure that's very common.
Well, you can do something.
I've lived in
as-
a lot of them.
You can do something as simply as painting the ceilings white to give the appearance of raising the ceiling.
I see.
Give you a little more light, and put the white on the trim. You know, so you're only doing a little bit of work, but it makes it a transformation. Brings out the architectural features of the room. Balances the room with your accessories. You can use accent colors on individual walls to add some more character. You can paint just the walls to achieve the same results. It's all about customizing the space for that client.
A lot of people, not a lot of people, some people, it's hard to break out of that white. And there's,
It is.
It's
Is it?
not comfortable for them.
It is.
How do you
What,
help
what should
them
I
do
put
that?
on here? It's white. It's safe right now with white,
Safe.
but they want to go somewhere else with another color, and they get scared of color on the choosing. So there's where you come in at, and you can really help them overcome that. And then I've seen people just so happy, and they
Well, for me, my job is to explain the possibilities and how to use color, and once the client understands their options, you know, it makes it easy, and they understand the process. It's easier for them to make those choices. There's a process we follow, and I tell you,
I've seen happy
you just
campers after you help them.
well, the thing is, on the peninsula, reputation's everything, and it's just, I don't think I've ever really had a dissatisfied client.
Of course not.
You know,
So how can people reach you, Charles?
you can
What's your
reach
phone
me.
number?
My local phone number is 372-6048. It's Old World Finishes. I have a cell number that's 595-5409. Love to come out and look at work you'd like to have done. Free estimates. And one of the things that we do when we are working in a home is we just don't focus on the work we're doing. We keep our eyes open and look around, just so that if we see other issues that may affect the client down the road.
Right.
Gee, you have some
You're
dry
looking
rot
forward.
here. Yes.
You're
Oh, you
looking
have a
forward
leak here
always.
that needs to be addressed.
care of the client.
You know, if we see a problem, we'll bring it. You know, that's not necessarily part of our work, but if we see a problem, we'll bring it to the client's attention, because particularly on exteriors, how many people do you ever have climb all over your house looking inside things, you know, the chimney, the gutters, the flashing, you know. Gee, you have a moisture problem here, or you've got a leak there, or, you know, you've got some slippage here on your foundation because of, you know, working with gentlemen like Max. I love working on big jobs because it gives me the experience and the opportunity to see how the other subs are working and what they're looking for, and it educates me. to look. And with over 30 years experience,
You are
it's
always
picked up again.
learning new things, and
Absolutely.
I know that
Love to be a problem solver.
you love to learn.
Absolutely.
That's what I know about you.
Well, that's why we take classes and you know,
right.
keep up on the newest products and procedures. We use a lot of green products, very popular now because we've been trying to get away from the paint products that have VOCs, volatile organic compounds, which are the things that hurt you, you know. And the industry is making big changes and doing things that the industry has not been able to do before. We've been able to put traditionally solvent-based products like urethanes and epoxies in water-based systems. So you now have water-based urethanes that dry fast, they don't smell, they have the hardness of a urethane, but they don't yellow like the urethanes. A lot of changes in the products, quite exciting.
Wow, okay. And would you say your phone number again, please, Charles?
Old World Finishes at 372-6048.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to, just for a moment here, let's take a break for a moment, and we'll be right back.
You tried to lose weight, but it doesn't seem to be your fate. Perhaps the way you've gone about it has given you reason to doubt it. There's an easier proven way to lose that weight today.
Just 3 steps.
To success
Drink water and listen.
with Monterey Hypnosis.
Hello there, welcome back to the Off the Wall show. And we're talking with Max Baggett and Dr. Dustin Nagai, who is a chiropractor, Max Baggett of Baggett Construction. And Dr. Nagai, you are a chiropractor, and where is your office right now?
I just moved to a new location over on Cass Street, 950 Cass Street, Suite A in Monterey. So most people know where Cass Street is from the old days of, that's where the
Pill Hill.
Pill Hill, the medical doctors were always there.
Pill Hill.
And so that Cass Street is actually, now it's making a comeback. A lot of people moved up to Ryan Ranch when things got big, and then some people are heading back or filtering back over to Cass Street. So
And there's probably a lot of dentists there, is that
sure,
true?
yeah, there's all types of doctors as well.
And I want to just ask Max here. I know, Max, you are an expert in creating dentist offices and doctor's offices. Is that
Yes.
true? Where do you do that, and what's that all about?
Anywhere from Salinas to Gilroy, Monterey, over here on the peninsula. We have a tremendous backing, or let's say experience in the dental field.
Right.
There's a lot. They're my favorite. That's the icing on the cake for me.
You enjoy that
Oh, yeah.
a lot. What is it that you enjoy about working in that field?
They're very odd in the sense of
They're odd.
not the
No.
dogs, not the dogs.
Not the dogs.
No, the equipment. The equipment
Oh,
to
the equipment.
work on in the dental in the profession, it takes a tremendous amount of equipment.
Oh, okay.
X-rays, all kinds of different equipment to do that profession. And it takes odd electrical and odd plumbing to all make that work.
I
so that's why
see.
it's very odd. So
That's
that
what's
to me
odd.
is a big challenge, putting all that electrical and that plumbing together for the docs.
And you've done it many times,
Many,
and
many,
you
many
really
times.
enjoy it.
I love it, yeah. That's my favorite.
Good. Okay. So, how can people reach you? Would they have a project that they'd like you to work? Would you give your phone number and website and so,
Yeah,
so
the
forth?
website, just baggettconstruction.com, BAGGETT, construction.com,
And your phone number?
and 831-663-0739.
Yeah. So call Max if you are interested in putting a fantastic project together. And while we're here, if you'll just let me indulge, can you tell me about the cars that you race?
It's off-road desert racing
Okay.
and short track. It's with us. It's the dirt. The dirt trips our trigger.
And where do you do this?
In Sacramento, in Nevada, in Southern California.
Black Rock Desert?
No, mostly just desert up in the Nevada area.
Oh, okay.
We've got Reno, Fallon,
Have you ever gone to Black
Arrington.
Rock Desert?
No.
I hear that's where the land speed record
Oh,
was.
that's
broken.
faster than we go.
Okay.
We go over rocks, under rocks. Through
So it's about, the terrain is what? It's
very rugged.
It's rugged.
It's rugged.
It's rugged. It's not flat.
desert. It's not flat.
It's not flat.
Correct.
Okay.
Everything but flat. Uphill, downhill, through gullies, through riverbeds,
Okay, I see.
through sand. Miss as many rocks and cactus as you possibly can. They're not good for you. Not good for the car.
Probably not.
Keep it together in one piece. That's one of the challenges.
And what kind of cars are they?
Just
Like
buggies.
Dune buggies? Like, or
A
what do
dune
you-
buggy is sand.
You're right.
Desert
Desert buggies.
A desert buggy, they're set up a lot stronger than a dune buggy. It takes the desert is brutal on you physically,
Yeah.
brutal on the equipment, the
And
mechanics.
I would think all that on the lower back or the skeletal system would, I mean, do you ever, have you ever seen a chiropractor
Oh
for
yes,
that?
that's the only reason I can do that is because of a chiropractic, and also in construction. That's the only way I've been able to do construction for so many years is because of chiropractic.
So chiropractic works,
Oh yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah, we actually
Yeah.
have the most research to back up that we can help decrease and get rid of low back pain. So it's
From desert
it's proven.
racing?
Yeah, from desert racing.
Is specifically.
Yeah, well, like he said, it takes a lot of beating, balancing out the rocks and the rugged, but it's also just vibration in general causes a lot of stress to the discs in your lower back, and so not even just the big rocks that he runs into, but the constant vibration.
The
of
vibration
car.
of the vehicle itself.
Yeah, and that's where the actual truck drivers is notorious for having bad low backs because long hours just
And how about
sitting.
pilots?
And pilots, they
was
get
just
a
thinking
little
of
bit
that.
better of ability
Or
to
small-
not be
small
stuck
plane pilots.
in driving. Truck drivers, they're by themselves usually, so they don't have an option to take a little break. Where pilots can get a little bit more of an option where they have a co-pilot and can take a step up and take a break. But so typically.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking about a helicopter pilot in L.A. It was a lady, and she was a traffic helicopter pilot, right? And she had to retire early because of the vibration ruined her joints. That's what I was thinking of. So, helicopter pilots, but actually just anybody who wants to just get through life a little easier would do well to call you a chiropractor.
Yeah. We've been talking. Chiropractor's been talking about preventative health for years, and now it's starting to come into the major media now. And just this morning, on the news, they were talking about cardiovascular disease. Doctors started to talk more about the preparation of keeping you healthy rather than helping fix you up once you get to that point. And so,
Right, it's a whole different mindset from a couple generations ago.
Yeah.
Where people would avoid a doctor their entire life and then expect to die in the hospital. This is old school thinking.
Right. And
Today we go, how often should a person go to a chiropractor?
Well, it all depends on the person and what their
What do you
need is.
recommend? It depends. It's all specifically
Yeah, and
about
when you're looking
the-
at the overall spectrum of everything that chiropractic can do to help you, going at least once every 4 to 6 weeks is
4
the
to 6
best.
weeks is good.
So that will keep you moving properly, keep those joints working well, keep you out of pain, keep the nervous system working as best it can, and keeps
So
your
it helps
energy
the
level
nervous
as
system
well.
too.
Yeah, it
does it
directly
do that?
affects the nervous system. We adjust those joints, mainly the spine, but we can also adjust every joint in the body. But that keeps the pressure off the nerves, and so our nervous system is just like your body's electrical system, and so we allow that nervous system to work properly without interference. And so you can expect if you hit that dimmer switch on the lights, all of a sudden there's half the lights, and that's harder to see. And so in terms of your body, once you have pressure on the nerve, then it's just harder to work. It doesn't allow for it to do what it's supposed to do
So-
and work properly.
You're saying that joints that are not, they're not loose or they're not relieved or open can actually press on the nervous system?
Well,
So
it's
is that what you're
it's
saying?
literally
Pressing on the
an
nerves?
injury to the joint, and so and chiropractors call it a subluxation, and that just means it's an inner joint putting pressure on the nerve. And
Yeah,
a
that sounds very
very
painful.
very small amount of pressure is all that takes to put pressure on the nerve. So we're not talking Max is sitting on a nerve, putting that type of pressure, no. But it's just a minimal amount of pressure can cause a disruption of that nerve flow and just decrease the ability for wherever those nerves are going for the body to function.
Right.
It doesn't take off-road or something brutal to need chiropractic care.
Right.
Give you an example. We came off a desert race, and 2 weeks later I'm over playing with the grandkid, 4 years old, in the bounce house. And I don't think I was supposed to be in there, but I needed chiropractic care for 2 weeks after that.
Really?
Yeah.
Bounce house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For-
They're brutal.
Yeah. There's
fun.
probably a weight limit, though. I don't know if you were on that.
They kicked me out.
But the difference between that is where most time that's what happens is you come into my office after you're hurting, but then you think about it, well, I don't remember doing anything different. I don't, like Max said, it's 2 weeks after, but he took a lot of beating in that race, and all of a sudden his body just said, okay, I need to help out, I need to protect, and it tightens up, and it does its best to adapt around that injury, and then all of a sudden it just takes that next step of whatever you're doing, whether it was him being at work and hammering some nails and lifting down to pick something up, or somebody in their desk job who just reaches back behind them for the cabinet or pick up a pencil and just putting the body in that weaker position, and the body goes. And your body will do its best to protect and adapt around the injury until it finally can't take it anymore. And so that's where the difference between a muscle injury and a joint injury, generally it's a day or two after that you feel that joint injury. Whereas muscles, you pull a muscle, you feel it right then and there.
Okay. Well, how can anybody reach you?
What my phone number is 831-277-16.
What? What is it?
831-277-4822 is my cell phone
And you're
number.
on Cass Street.
And I'm on Cass Street.
in an
950.
interesting building. What's the address?
Yeah, it's a 950 Suite A,
Suite
Cass
A.
Street. But it's in a wellness center, and so we're putting
It's
together.
in the wellness center.
Yeah, we're
which
putting
is
together
an interesting
an
place.
office that you can come for all different types of health, not just chiropractic, or we have a nurse on staff as well, but also there's a wide spectrum
It's worth
of
a
different.
visit, I think.
Yeah, there's-
It's pretty groovy, I thought. It's a
Yeah.
pretty groovy place.
Yeah, it's about healing
It's about
and
healing,
comfort
wellness.
and looking for other areas besides just the general health that we know of trying to eat well or taking that medication for that injury you have or that sickness or disease. It's overall what you can do to better your life and extend your life as well, and health in general of finding every aspect we can to just make that happen and head towards the direction of living as long and best quality of life that we can.
Hopefully, yeah, we're going to live a long time and stay healthy. And yoga can help too. And so it's part of chiropractic and health and diet and keeping fit, right? So
Oh, yeah.
going to the gym or walking or drinking water and everything like that.
Yeah, drinking water is actually probably the easiest thing to
Oh,
do
we can do
to
that.
get towards health, and most people don't do it.
How
And
much water should we drink a day?
I mean, you just drink water all day long. Really, unfortunately, you have to drink pretty much as much as you don't want to drink, and and you drink so much water to the point where you feel full, but.
Okay,
Unfortunately,
then you don't
that's
need
just-
as much, right?
Right, well, that's true. but our body uses water for every mechanical, molecular reaction in the body. We use water for. So everything that's working in your body and doing something to make you live or to make you function, it uses water to help. And so if you don't, then your body can't work as well as it can, and it has to try to take a step back and sometimes go into survival mode and reserve what it has, and then you can't use it for what you're doing, and then starts stressing in other ways.
Oh, I forgot to give the number here. If anybody has some questions for Max or Dr. Dustin, the number here is 831-375-1919. That's 375-1919. Perhaps you have a question regarding chiropractic. And is there any misconceptions that people say, chiropractor, forget it, I don't get it?
Well,
What do people come to
we
you
could do a
with?
whole show on
That would be
misconceptions,
good.
but the number
Whoops,
one
just went down.
the biggest one that people come to me and say, well, I don't want to come to chiropractor because once I go, then I got to go for the rest of my life, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
What
so
happened to my
but
chair?
that's true with all health. I mean, do you go to see your dentist for the rest of your life? Do you go in consistently and you generally twice a year to get your teeth cleaned, right, or checked out?
At least.
At least, and therefore, do you eat well one time and you eat good for that day and you say, okay, I'm good for the rest of my life? No. So that's just how health is, and just same with exercises and building up your fitness level. It takes a lot more work to get to that point than to keep you there. And that's the biggest thing as well for chiropractic, is the reason why we suggest that you come frequently and continue to come and not just come back whenever you're hurt, is that it's much easier to keep you doing well and keep you healthy and keep your body at its best than to fix you up. It takes a lot longer, takes a lot more pain and anguish, and also takes more money in the long run.
And it's maintenance. This is the vehicle that we live in, and it carries us from birth to death. So it's worth the investment
Right.
of eating right, drinking water, exercising, going to a chiropractor, doing what doing things to care for this vehicle that carries you through every adventure you're going to have, right?
Correct. Yeah. And
I work hard. I've always worked hard. I've always played hard, and chiropractic is what has got me through all that, and will help me continue to keep doing that. Which I
Right.
love to do.
By playing hard, do you mean the car
Yeah.
racing, or is
Yeah.
there more to it?
I got a long history of dirt bikes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dirt.
Lots of
I'm
dirt.
a dirt guy. Yeah.
We like dirt.
Yeah, dirt bikes, dirt cars, dirt go-karts. We do all that. So.
Oh, that sounds like a riot.
But it's hard work
And
and
you have
hard
four
play.
boys,
Right.
and do they do this with you?
Yes. They've all gone to college,
Uh-huh.
which I'm blessed daddy for that. And with them being gone, I miss playing with them, so I have
Yeah.
to, usually find a couple other mates to play with. My youngest son, he's still around enough to play with him. But I don't know what I'm going to do when he moves away. I don't know what to play with.
Do any girls do this sport?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. I don't know of any personally, but yes, they do.
Okay. Not that you play with.
No. no,
Okay.
no.
Do you wear a helmet?
Yes, in all the sports.
Okay.
Always a helmet.
That's good.
Always a helmet. The boys have learned that all these years, ever since they were little tykes. Always have a helmet.
Helmet. I do a little
Protection.
snowboarding, and this is the first year I ever wore a helmet. And because I remember many times falling right back onto the back of my head, and just this resonant sound of it was horrific. But I never thought, oh, I should wear a helmet while I'm snowboarding. First year.
Oh, man. Good.
Never again will I go out without a helmet, skiing or snowboarding.
We've
Yeah.
destroyed helmets. We've had to throw helmets away because of using them. And
Yeah.
if we didn't
Brain
have those
bucket,
helmets,
we used to call it. Here's your brain bucket.
We'd have serious problems without that helmet. So,
Do you have any photographs of your racing? Do you have them on your website?
no,
Oh.
no, that's a kind of a personal thing.
Oh, I understand, but I just think that I'm interested, and I think people might be interested in
My,
sharing hobbies. I think is a way. If people know us on a professional level, that's great. And then sometimes, like when you're involved in actually touching people, you're involved in people's homes, and then when we're doing business with people, we build a level of trust by talking about our hobbies. That's what I've found effective, and it makes your client a friend. I think it's a positive thing. Although of course it's
I agree.
private, but
I agree.
it's also a way to just share fun.
Yep.
You know.
Now, if you go in the office, I have things in the office.
Okay,
It's there.
I have not. Okay, I haven't been. And your wife is a.
Judy Baggett, she's
Yeah.
an interior designer.
Okay, and you work together on the same houses, and does she work in the dental?
She works with dental, medical. She works with residential, commercial. It's really
She does it all.
she does it all. Yeah. And we work together very well together.
I bet.
She has a lot of background as far as, is this a bearing wall? Do we move this 6 inches? No, moving that 6 inches might cost you another $25,000. Well, she knows that, so she keeps it within budget, keeps things where they should be, to where it doesn't take a lot of money to move something. She works around that.
How did the two of you meet? Did you work together first?
No, An old girlfriend of mine introduced us.
Oh, okay. The old girlfriend
The old girlfriend,
said,
my old girlfriend met my wife at another place and time, and she says, "I know the guy just for you, Judy." And so after probably almost close to a year, she finally got us together, Judy, my wife, and I, and we hit it off, and the rest is history. 4 boys later.
4 boys later, and that's really nice.
Thanks to the old girlfriend.
Yeah, see? See what happens?
It's her really, really, really good friend.
Right.
So.
Everybody's friends.
Yeah.
Good. So, anything else we'd like to share about, I don't know, where do we go?
As far as
Yeah.
as
What do
construction,
people need to know about?
as far as construction,
Your-
I can share
your
there
business?
is we're not building homes these days, not like we used to.
Yeah.
The system's broke between the banks and the homeowners, so things are, the values everyone knows gone down. So the banks don't want to touch things anymore. They're scared too. So now we're doing a tremendous amount of remodel, additions, redoing kitchens of any level, bathrooms, adding on family rooms, offices. So it's a lot of flooring, a lot of painting, wallpapers. Charles mentioned wallpapers coming in. Well, it's hot. It's hot now. They got some hot stuff too. It looks
Well, what
neat.
are the colors of today?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. That's a
Okay.
designer question.
Okay.
I put her together.
But you have noticed that wallpaper is on the rise
Oh.
for some reason that we don't understand.
Yeah, Judy Baggett, my wife, interior designer, she's got some wallpaper that's just out of this world.
Oh.
Just beautiful stuff. Beautiful
Okay.
stuff.
And to reach Judy, do we call you? Or?
Yes, you can go to baggettconstruction.com.
Baggettconstruction.com.
And she has a link on there.
Good.
So,
Okay.
how many people do you have in your yoga
Oh,
lessons?
it can be 1 person to maybe 40, depending on the space.
40 people at one time?
If there is space.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, well, yeah, I've taught at CSUMB and I've had maybe 35 in that room. And in Shape where I teach, the room is big enough. I could have 30 sometimes. See, people lie down and they move around, so you can really pack them in for Zumba. You can put 80 in that room because they're all like this. But
Or close? So they,
Yeah.
do they, are they there an hour? Is it an hour and a half? Is it 15 minutes?
well, when I teach at Quail, it's an hour and a half. And when I teach it in Shape, it's an hour. And I'll be teaching at Gold's Gym starting this Wednesday at 6:30. I think that's an hour. And then when I do my own classes, private classes, it's an hour and 15 minutes. So it varies. I would like longer is better if you have the time. Because the relaxation, sometimes the relaxation can be 10 minutes or sometimes it's 20. And there's a relaxation that's deeper than sleep. It's profound.
And you don't want to leave.
And you don't want to leave. And people stand up and they're like, I have to go now?
Doggone it.
They don't want to leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once a week, what would you recommend?
Oh, for yoga?
Yeah.
Well, you can start with once a week. I think that would be wonderful. And if it makes you feel good, you should do it more. But my big thing is, if it feels good, wait a minute. If it feels good, do it. And then the other hand is, if it doesn't feel good, it's not yoga.
Oh.
So see, yoga, the more you do, maybe the more you want to do. But just keep listening to your body. Keep making sure it feels good. And work with a good teacher.
Does it take a lot of physical ability to do yoga?
No, good question, Max. I have some students who have real serious issues with movement. And we do a yoga called restorative, where we lie down on the floor and put their legs up the wall. That's how we start. If you can handle that, and we do only what you can handle easily and what feels wonderful and delicious, and it has so many benefits, and your mind starts to clear, you start breathing easier, there's a lymphatic drainage, which clears the body of toxins. So that's yoga. You don't have to do much. But I start from where you are. That's why a private lesson is wonderful, because you can hang out with me together, and I can look at your body and ask you a lot of questions about how you feel, and I can I've made prescriptions of what small movements would make a huge difference. And then from there, build strength if we're ready to do that. And basically it's alleviating pain.
Oh, so there's many levels of it then.
Yes, that's true.
The relaxing, then there's the physical part, getting
Yes.
into getting limber, and then there's the calm part of that, the getting in touch with your and the relaxation side, and then there's also a physical getting into some kind of shape also.
Sure, if my students are ready for that, you can get in the shape of your life with yoga.
Whoa. Okay.
It's extremely powerful, and it depends on where you are. You can take it to the limit.
Because when you say yoga, to me it sounds like calming or centering oneself, but it doesn't sound like this other level you're talking about. So there is a place to go as far as, what'd you call it? Physical, just it's powerful, it's...
You especially building every muscle in the body gets stronger. Once we get into asana, when we get off the floor and off the pillows and we're ready, we stand up and we start doing asana. Asana are the physical movements of hatha yoga, and they can be. The point is to always stay relaxed and always notice your breath. If you're breathing shallow and hard, you're working too hard, so do less. But you can still have an incredible physical benefit and be in incredible shape doing yoga, just doing yoga.
I didn't realize that. I didn't know it went to that level.
Yes, oh yes.
So there's actually something there for actually anyone.
There's
whatever level they want to
for
be.
top athletes to keep in shape. They can do high levels of yoga, which they're very strenuous. Yoga is from here to here. It's a whole world.
Yeah, for
It's a
example,
whole
for someone like Max, you know, when you're sitting there bending over, hammering nails, and reaching back, carrying the pieces of wood, throwing them up to the next person, handing them off, all these different active movements. So that's what yoga can help a lot with, is getting that positional strength and working the core and providing your overall active strength as well, rather than just a weightlifting exercise where you're using one muscle group and you're doing the exact same motion in a controlled environment, whereas this is much better in general for everything. And so just for you dealing with those positional things where you're stuck there hammering or drilling a certain specific spot for a period of time, your body will start to get tired, will start to wear it down. And so if it's not conditioned, which, you know, yoga is something that can help with that, then it'll make it harder on you, and then it also can start to wear down and stress the joints as well.
And it elongates the muscles so that you have more range of motion. What I was going to say is that it also makes the body symmetrical. So it's great for golfers or tennis players, people who do a repetitive motion on one side of their body over and over and over, or maybe you're right-handed and you hammer a lot with, do a lot with one side. Yoga is beautiful because it symmetricizes the body. So you have overall good health.
I can balance it that way rather than construction, hammer this side and finishing concrete with this side. I can just utilize both sides.
You can. Oh, the other thing that yoga is great for is balance. So we do, like a lot of sports, you know, cycling, skiing, snowboarding, you're balancing. But in yoga, you're actually balancing on one leg for a long time, as much as you can. And a lot of people of all ages can't do that. I've taught from children to the elderly, and age doesn't matter. Balance is something we all have to work on.
Balance is in sports so much. Balance is in riding dirt bikes, motorcycles.
Yeah.
Balance is there.
Oh, yes.
Balance is off-road.
Yes.
Balance is sports. Balance is in yoga.
That's right.
That's amazing. It doesn't matter. You could be, no matter what age, the age doesn't tell you what balance you have. It's the individual himself.
That's exactly what I just said, yeah.
Wow.
Terrific. Oh, good. Well, let's see. almost time for the end of our show. Let's sing a happy song. 3 minutes? Okay, so Dr. Dustin, how can we find you?
950 Cass Street, Suite A, Monterey, California, 93940.
Nagai Chiropractic.
Yeah. So I'm in the Wellness Planning Institute is the wellness center name.
Which is a cool place.
Yeah, and
A place to visit, because
and
it's
so
about wellness.
And the business phone is 277-2671. And so yeah, I can give a call. And consultations are always complimentary. You just come and chat and
Sounds like a deal.
see if chiropractic is something that you need.
Sounds like a deal. And Max, how can we reach you?
And with the construction, Baggett Construction, I'm a general contractor, and we have the crews and all the equipment, and you can find us at baggettconstruction.com or 831-663-0739, and we do give free estimates.
Free estimate, sounds good. Okay, and I'm Susana McGuire-Jewell with deliciousyoga.net. 831-239-2594, and call me for a free consultation to see if yoga is good for you. And I want to thank Larry Conti, who is riding his horse right now as we speak and competing in some sort of a fantastic, what is he competing in? Does anybody know? Do you guys know?
Horse racing. I think he's got the horse and not the money to put on it. I think he's got the horse side.
Okay, well, we wish him well. And hope to see you all next week. And we're going to, I hope everybody has a beautiful day. And, okay. Thank you.